Мы говорили, что уж лучше, сука, сдохнуть, чем жить вот так. Что мы по уши в говне, и жопа в стране, и в думе много воров, и в фильмах только Петров. Повсюду пробки, воздух грязный, солнца нету, и гаишник мудак. Но оказалось, тогда все было заебись. Коронавирус, коронавирус, отъебись. Но оказалось, что тогда все было просто заебись. Коронавирус, сраный вирус, отъебись. Пусть будет снова жопа в стране. Хотим мы жить в нашем милом говне. Пусть Конституцию меняют хоть в неделю 15 раз. Пусть срут нам наши права, в Китай увозят дрова. Пусть пенсионный возраст делают хоть 72. И дружно пиздят наши клевые ОМОНовцы дубинками нас. Пусть будет снова все как когда-то, заебись. Коронавирус, коронавирус, ну отъебись. Пусть будет снова все как прежде, заебись. Коронавирус, сраный вирус, отъебись.
Коронавирус, коронавирус, ну почему ты такой противный? Не объясни нам, коронавирус, что ты на всех до нас докопался?
Возможно, просто ты разозлился, что ты родился в какой-то жопе, что жил в какашках, мышах летучих и в дохлых крысах ты тусовался. И вот ты вышел такой бляхоба, ща покажу вам я, кто здесь папа. Всех вас заставлю меня бояться, руки, блять, мыть, сидеть, сука, дома.
Ну ты послушай, коронавирус, мы ведь с тобою очень похожи.
Мы же ведь тоже живем в России, и нам твои проблемы знакомы.
Нам тоже плохо, нам тоже сложно.
Но стариков мы не убиваем, жизнь им, конечно, не облегчаем, но убивать их это уж слишком.
Мы тоже можем всем на планете не показать, кто тут нахуй папа.
Но мы же терпим, Крым лишь забрали, мягкая сила, вот наша фишка.
Где твои скрепы, коронавирус, помни, отчизну не выбирают.
Много на свете есть мест прекрасных, но ничего нету лучше дома. Вали обратно ты в жопу крысы, а в нашу жопу больше не суйся. Пусть сидит каждый в своей, блядь, жопе
И не мешай сидеть другому.
Хватит злиться, коронавирус, ты только глянь, какой ты красивый, такой весь круглый, такой в цветочках, выглядишь просто заебись. Займись там в жопе контролем гнева, сходи к психологу, помедитируй и полюби себя, коронавирус.
От нас ты отъебись, пусть будет снова все как когда-то, заебись.
Коронавирус, коронавирус, ну отъебись.
Пусть будет снова все как прежде, заебись. Коронавирус, сраный вирус, отъебись.
Заебись,
Отъебись от нас,
отъебись от нас,
доебись до них.
Доебись до них,
Не, отъебись от всех.
отъебись.
Да, отъебись от всех.
Ale zaczęliśmy. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, live from Stay at Home TV. This is the biggest hit right now in Russia, the biggest hit right now in Ukraine. It has almost 1 million viewers. A ten facet po prawej stronie, dobry wieczór wszystkim, którzy tę niedzielę wielkanocną spędzają już w łóżkach. Tym, którzy no po prostu może nie siedzieli dzisiaj z rodziną, tym, którzy byli dzisiaj odizolowani, to spędźcie z nami najbliższy czas, bo będziecie mieli niepowtarzalną okazję poznać najsłynniejszego Brytyjczyka w naszym mieście, najsłynniejszy Anglik we Wrocławiu, Philip Fairweather, the singer from Wrocław Main Square, from Wrocław Market Square, from wrocławski rynek. Hello, Philip.
Hello, Paweł.
Hello, how are you tonight?
I'm very well. Yes.
You're very well. Philip, can you speak Polish or we need to speak English tonight?
It's probably better to carry on in English. I will understand you if you speak in Polish, but I
Okay.
don't think my Polish is fluent enough to to carry me through a complex conversation.
Okay, sometimes I'm going to translate for the non-speaking people. Filip mówi, że rozumie język polski, ale nie jest tak płynny, żeby rozmawiać po polsku. How long have you been here in Poland and in Wrocław? 10
A long
years, 20 years, 30 years? Jak długo tu byłeś?
It's coming on for, well, in my association, it's my association with Wrocław goes back to 1999, but I started to be here more regularly from 2003 onwards.
So it's 20 years in Wrocław, right?
Yes, almost. Yeah,
20 lat we Wrocławiu, prawie 20, almost 20 years in Wrocław. Znany człowiek, zna go każdy turysta, każdy wrocławianin, każda wrocławianka, każdy, kto był we wrocławskim rynku przez ostatnie 20 lat, widział tego faceta, który stoi. Is this suit the suit that you perform next to Phoenix, pod Feniksem, czy to w tym garniturze?
you could say. I mean, this suit now.
Ten nie, this is your private one, not for the performances.
It depends, because I tend to use this only for special occasions. So I wouldn't normally be performing in this every day.
Okay. Philip, where are you living here in Wrocław? Because you live here in the city, can you tell us what part of the city and what the name of the street is? Na jakiej ulicy mieszkasz?
I'm in Biskupinie, just off Olszewskiego Street.
Okay. How big is your flat?
It's
Jak duże mieszkanie?
two rooms, basically. Very cool.
This is the living room, right?
It's the living room, bedroom, and then behind me you have the kitchen.
Okay. How many meters? Like 30 meters?
I never
Is
measured.
that enough? You never measured. Okay. Nigdy nie liczył, ile jest metrów.
It's enough space for one person.
For a single. Are you single? Jesteś singlem?
Yes.
Może nie trzeba tłumaczyć. Yes, he's single. And he is still looking for the woman of his dreams.
Maybe.
Maybe. Is it easy to meet girls, to meet beautiful ladies when you sing, you know, in rynek? Czy to łatwo znaleźć fajną laseczkę?
All the time I'm meeting many beautiful ladies, many beautiful people. This is the you know, but I'm not a predator. I'm looking to meet people socially, and this, you know, this is enough for me nowadays.
Okay.
Maybe when I was a bit younger, I had some other intentions, but now what I you know, I meet people, friendships develop, maybe something more develops, but
okay. Philip, may I ask this very private question about this? I've got this feeling that you are a bit stuttering, but is it stuttering or it has something in common with some disease that you are suffering? What is it? Bo trochę się jąkasz, a kiedy when you are singing, you know, very perfect, and it's not stuttering. So what is the problem? If I may ask.
You see, the truth is that I have I suffer from dyspraxia and
Dyspraxia. This is the name of the disease, right?
It's
Illness.
I don't see it as a disease. I see it as a condition that I have to cope with, and this I manage as best I can, and it makes some things more. It makes some things easier, and some things more difficult. And I think there's a lot more understanding towards the way that that it is for people like me in today's world. There's a lot more understanding than, for instance, there was when I was a child. And in fact, I was only diagnosed a few years ago, and this actually it's actually opened up more doors to me now that I actually have this diagnosis than for years when I was actually struggling, because there are many things that when I'm prepared for something, when I have my script, when I know exactly what I want to say, when I'm confident with what's going on, then it's no problem, and I'm prepared. It's going straight off spontaneously and having to think through all sorts of different of different motions going through my head at the same time, that sometimes I get a bit muddled and I end up stuttering a little. And I mean, it's something that blocked me in some ways for many years from a few things. But
Phil, let me explain what this dyspraxia is in Polish, of course, because I've just read that it's like about 6% of the whole population that suffers from dyspraxia. And now in Polish, dyspraxia to jest zespół niezgrabnego dziecka, schorzenie, które wywołuje trudności w wykonywaniu ruchów i dotyka około 6% populacji. Jedną z przyczyn dyspraksji może być nieprawidłowe funkcjonowanie neuronów lustrzanych i tak dalej, i tak dalej. Nie o tym jest to spotkanie. I was just trying to, explain what this dyspraxia is. But when you perform, you behave like a professional. So we cannot see that there is something wrong, with your health. So let's go back to this, to the different topic. Can you see one of the comments, actually the first comment on the screen? Elżbieta Styrcz. Zawsze podziwiałam jego głos. Ostatnio spotykałam go właśnie na Olszewskiego. Elizabeth has just written down that she was always admiring your voice, and she saw you some time ago exactly in the Olszewski street, and she sends the greetings to you.
Thank you very much, Elizabeth.
Okay. Jeżeli chcecie o coś zapytać po polsku czy po angielsku, if you want to ask some questions, and if you are a friend of Philip from Poland, from the Great Britain, if you can speak Polish or English and you want to put your comment, you need to watch this transmission and this live chat straight from the Stay at Home TV fan page. This is the only way to be visible on the screen. Jeżeli chcecie być widoczni ze swoim komentarzem czy pytaniem na ekranie, musicie nas oglądać bezpośrednio na Stay at Home TV na naszym fanpage'u. A widzę, że pora wieczorna, 15 osób w tym momencie sobie nas podgląda. About 15 people right now watching us live. And Philip, so you decided to stay here in Wrocław for this whole coronavirus period.
Well, yes, actually, I was very lucky because I came back from Britain a few days before the lockdown began. And
the lockdown began like the 12th day of March, I guess, around 10 and 12.
On the 9th of March.
On the 9th of March, okay.
I think it was, from my point of view, I prefer being here. Then I see it as a little bit of a lucky escape. If I'd stayed in Britain a few more days, I probably wouldn't have been able to get back. And I'm not sure quite how it would have, whether it would have been the right situation for me, stuck away from so many of my things, and wondering how exactly how I was going to fit in with my family at exactly that right time. And I think the way it's worked out is very good. I mean, with the very much less cases of coronavirus here in Poland, I'm in a safe part of town. It's an easy. I have everything I need on the doorstep, and it's not a. I think it's a good place to be to actually. Wrocław, and particularly Biskupinie, and this particular flat in Biskupinie are the best place for me to be at the moment.
Yeah, at the moment, but you are one of those who lost their jobs their everyday jobs. You cannot perform, you cannot sing, because this is the way that you are, this is what you do for a living. Z tego żyjesz, ale wszystko straciłeś. So how are you going to deal with it right now?
Well, I mean, this is the interesting thing, because I think a lot of musicians and performers and people in that sort of, in those sort of professions, we've had to really improvise with what we've had to really improvise with how we go about our lives, because it's completely different from the way we would normally proceed. I mean, I would not be able to perform even if I'd stayed in Britain in the normal way that I perform. So I actually find.
But if you stayed in Britain, this is the question from Eva. If you stayed in UK, where would you be in UK?
I would probably be in Devon with my parents.
This is your hometown, right?
Well, Devon is the county, but in fact, I'm based in Honiton, which is about 15 miles away, 20 kilometers or plus from Exeter, which is the main city of Devon.
Okay, so going back to the topic of performing now these days, you're not performing, you're not getting money.
I am performing.
You are performing.
And in fact, it's opened up a lot of opportunities to actually work on my material in a way that, because a lot of the time I'm not revising what I'm performing. I've had a chance to revisit a lot of material that I wanted to, songs that I wanted to do, songs that I want to learn. I'm writing backing tracks for songs that have never had backing tracks before, so that I can do so much more in my show when it's possible to actually get out on the streets again. And I've also started to do live shows on the internet to compensate for not doing shows outside. So it's not totally. I'm still working. You just don't see me out on the street performing.
Okay, I'm not sure if I may ask another, but it's not very private. It's a very professional question, because I was always wondering, how much can a person singing in the street get, earn one day? If you could just, like give us not the exact numbers, but if we can just imagine, spróbujmy sobie wyobrazić, ile zarabia śpiewak na ulicy jednego dnia. One day, how much is it?
This is the golden question that always asked whenever, and I mean, I would reply back to you, Paweł. How much can a TV presenter make in one day?
Thousands, millions. I'm the richest man here in the town. And I have a sports car, I got a big home. This is a castle, and this is how much I earn.
Yeah, you see, that's the thing. Well, but I mean, to put can you actually put a figure on it?
Okay, I understand. This is too private question, and you're gonna answer it.
Well, we get by. We do. We manage to
So it's enough to pay a rent, right, for a flat?
Sometimes, usually.
Okay. Czyli Filip mówi, że czasami z tego, co zarabia się na ulicach, wystarcza czasami zwykle, czyli nie zawsze, żeby zapłacić za wynajem 30-metrowego dwupokojowego mieszkanka i przeżyć we Wrocławiu. What do you love Wrocław for? Za co kochasz Wrocław?
Well, I just found when I first started to get acquainted with Poland, that this was the city where, in my opinion, everything was happening, and it was when I first saw Wrocław in 1999. This was very different from how it is now. It was exciting, and well, it's still exciting, but there was a sort of energy to it that I felt was building and building. And the more I visited, the more I wanted to be part of that energy and to see it build. And the way that it's developed over the past 20 years is phenomenal. From and I just, I'd never lived in a city as big as Wrocław before, and I just want and I'd never lived outside the UK before, and I just somehow felt that there was a kind of vibe here that I wanted to be part of, and I felt I could contribute something useful to.
So
And
before you settled down here in Wrocław, you were a traveling busker. Busker is a person who performs in the streets. So where have you been before you settled down here?
I mean, I still am traveling a lot.
You still are traveling.
Not so much as I used to, but I mean, I back in the late 90s, I did much more traveling, and mainly with Interrail, and I went round over 20 countries in Europe doing my show before I discovered the Buskabus Festival, which is what first brought me to Poland. But yeah, I mean, it was a big. I started off in the UK, obviously first, but then I did some work in France, Belgium, Germany, then shorter trips around on the internet, Italy, Greece. Even Turkey. I made a show in Istanbul, which is the furthest I've been.
So you had a chance to meet the great variety of people from all different countries.
Yeah,
So what
yeah.
makes this difference in terms of the people of Wrocław? Do the people of Wrocław differ anyhow from the other people?
I think the thing is, when you travel and you perform in different places, the reaction is different in some ways, but the same in others. You discover because at the end of the day, I think you find out at the end of the day we are essentially all the same in many ways, but the place where
That's
we
right.
grow up, or the place that we become familiar with, and the mentality of the place that we're in and the place we're familiar with, sort of dictates the way we develop. But we can always travel around, see something new of the world, and this way we get a new perspective.
So do you remember yourself from your early years of living here in Wrocław, the way you looked, the way you performed, the way you presented yourself, the way I don't know, anything, like the style of your hair, your dress? Do you remember yourself?
I think I was a bit thinner then.
A bit thinner, like all of us, okay. Był trochę chudszy, kiedy zaczynał, jak każdy z nas.
And I think it's that my show was maybe more charming, but less professional. Because I had less equipment. I was a really shoestring budget. I was working with a very small tape recorder, and no microphone, no MP3 player, just a cassette, and this was if that cassette broke, then it was a real disaster for me. And no computer. I just had a collection of a few little karaoke tracks I'd picked up here and there. So now I've got a decent sound system. It's not too loud, not too quiet, with a microphone. I can make my own backing tracks. I don't have to rely on karaoke tapes. So so I can choose the songs that I want to do. And this way it's much more you know, it's much more professional, the show that I do now, but you know, I feel in some ways maybe there was some sort of charm in the basic nature of the show as it first started out.
Would you like to see yourself from the year 2011?
Why not?
Okay, I got some recording from Fundacja My Wrocławianie, and let's take a look at him, ladies and gentlemen, Philip Fairweather.
Raczej pijatni, raczej chłopci, ja tylko panno do tych wiska. Raczej chłopci, raczej pijatni, ja tylko panno do tych wiska.
What do you think? Is it a good performance? Would you like to fix it a bit?
Yeah, this was very after I got my first amplifier.
It was your first concert?
Well, no. After I hadn't got a I actually, that was the first sort of time I was starting to use a proper amplifier with a microphone. This was after the tape recorder era.
And you had a longer hair, longer bird. Thank you from Fundacja My Wrocławianie, who recorded this session of Philip Fairweather. Thank you very much. This is part of our history of our city. Oglądacie, you are watching the meeting during the Eastern Sunday evening. Oglądacie spotkanie w niedzielę wielkanocną wieczorem z Philipem Fairweatherem, tym, który śpiewa zawsze pod wrocławskim, the place na wrocławskim rynku. The place that you usually choose is next to the Phoenix shopping mall, right? Pod Phoenixem śpiewasz.
Used to be. That was the case for many years, but I don't actually perform there so much now. Partly because the street performances in Wrocław became so much more. There are so many more street performers, and the Rynek became quite much busier in this way, and a lot of performers are much louder, and there's less space to perform.
So where do you perform right now?
Well, at the moment I'm performing at home, but
at home.
That's right. When I was in the, I mean, my preferred spot now is actually in Świdnicka Street, just beyond the underground passage, because there's actually a lot of this is not such a popular place to perform, but there's a lot of people going backwards and forwards all the time, and so you don't get so much competition, and you also but you get a lot of people watching that you don't get in the Rynek, where I was normally standing. There's it's more of a sort of it's a narrower space, and so you can focus your performance a little bit more. I still perform in the Rynek when I can, but you know, I started to enjoy this spot further down Świdnicka Street a little bit more now.
Okay. Philip, would you like to perform for us right now? Because you said that you are performing at home, and we have a chance to watch your performances live on Facebook from time to time. And why don't you sing right now?
Yeah, why not?
So are you going to perform over there in the flat, in the room?
Yeah, I've got everything set up.
Okay, so go to the place, go to your stage. I will be your announcer, okay? What are you going to sing right now? The first song. What is it going to be?
Is there anything you particularly want to hear me sing?
What would I like to hear? Something classic, I don't know, something popular, maybe some, I don't know, something classic. Maybe our viewers, the people who are watching, maybe you can suggest in the comments what you would like to hear right now. So take your time and think of it. But my first suggestion is Nessun Dorma. Can you sing Nessun Dorma?
Right. I
Because
can.
this is it is opera, but are you an opera singer?
Some people would say so. I prefer to say I'm more a light tenor that does sort of old fashioned popular tenor classics. But a lot of people say, oh, that equates to opera, so
Okay,
they naturally I should be doing opera, and Nessun Dorma
maybe.
is the one that comes up.
Okay, but
But
this is
so
okay. Maybe it's too difficult to start. Maybe something easier. What would you like to sing?
Dorma, Dorma is a good choice, actually.
Is a good
I'm quite
choice?
because it's a good one for Easter. I'm just sort of saying about this thing that people often think, oh, opera singer, but in fact, well, maybe I'm more a light tenor than an opera singer. But Nessun Dorma, my version of Nessun Dorma, I sang it quite a lot now. So I think I've got it down to my sort of style, but maybe it's not the same
Okay,
style you'd expect from Pavarotti and that sort of thing.
okay. I thought that I was just kidding. Myślałem, że tylko żartuję. Okay, but if you can sing Nessun Dorma, this is Puccini, right?
Puccini, Turandot.
Puccini. Okay. Proszę Państwa, I'm going to be a host right now, okay? And if you are ready, I'm going to start announcing you, Phil.
Right,
So just let me know if you are ready, because the announcer has to be sure that the performer is ready.
I'm ready.
Jeżeli artysta jest, proszę Państwa, ja też straciłem pracę na co dzień, będąc dziennikarzem i konferencjerem. Trochę się znam na rzeczy i nikt z kolegów z branży i koleżanek nie lubi, kiedy kogoś zapowiada, a on z tyłu nie jest gotowy, więc zawsze robię, a czy na pewno są gotowi? 3 razy pytam, ale czy są przy scenie? Tak to wygląda. Więc teraz Filip Fairweather, który zwykle śpiewał dla Was na rynku, w związku z koronawirusem i totalną izolacją, udostępnijcie to teraz u siebie na żywo na swoich kanałach. Specjalnie dla Was wszystkich zamiast pod ratuszem zaśpiewa ze swojego mieszkania. Macie też niepowtarzalną okazję zobaczyć, gdzie mieszka, jak żyje i jak pięknie ma urządzone mieszkanie, Filip. I'm talking about your flat, about your room, that it's perfectly clean, jest przepięknie czysto, więc jest...
Oh, way.
Okay, I love it. I love this artistic way of arranging the place. So I love it.
This is the thing. This is why I am not going insane from isolation here, because it's my space, the space that I can work in, and where I know where everything goes, and this particularly for my dyspraxic autistic problem,
Okay.
this is the best way to survive.
Let me tell you that the way that you arranged your flat is known in Italian language, because this is the Italian style, and it's called in Italian language zagrazzone. Can you repeat after me? I'm going to teach you some Italian. Zagrazzone.
Zagrazzone.
Yeah, this is zagrazzone. With that, Italian accent. Zagrazzone. So this is Italian style. And I also have it in my room, so don't worry. I love this zagrazzone style. Okay. Are you ready with this Puccini? Jesteśmy w mieszkaniu Filipa Fairweathera, śpiewaka z wrocławskiego rynku. Jest 2020 rok. Ludzie grają i śpiewają.
Nessun dorma, Giocario principessa della tua la stanza, guardi la stella, che trappola l'amore, e di speranza. Ma il mio mistero chiuso in me, il nome mio nessun saprà, no, no, sola la bocca, io dirò, quando la luce la mia bacio sia in silenzio che ti fa mia. Il lei quando c'è la magister, allora vincerà, vincerà, vincerà. Il lei quando c'è la magister, quell'alba vincerà, vincerà,
Philip Fairweather, ladies and gentlemen, live from his beautiful flat in Olszewskiego Street in Wrocław, Biskupinie, ladies and gentlemen. This was Puccini's Nessun Dorma. This is the song from the very end of this opera.
I think so. Yeah. Well, yes. It concludes with a reprise of this song. I think you hear the majority of it earlier on, but it finishes with the same song at the end.
This is your favorite one. What is your favorite song, actually? Do you have your favorite one? Masz ulubioną piosenkę?
A very difficult question to answer because
Thank you.
I think the great Russian, the great German bass who was pretending to be a Russian, Ivan Rebrov, he had the best answer to this question because he said, I am like a father with many children. I love them all the same. When somebody asked him what his favorite song was. And I think I think that's the best way to say it because you can't really, it depends how you're feeling at the right moment, what song you want to sing. The song I'm singing at any particular time, that's my favorite.
You got an applause from two ladies, from Alexandra and Elizabeth.
Thank you very much, ladies. I'm much obliged.
Philip, there are the blind who are also watching us. I mean, not watching, listening, of course, because they are blind. And my ritual is to, as far as I remember, to describe the way you look and the place where you live. So now let me speak in Polish because as far as I know, they are Polish, those blind people watching us. Not exactly always live, but sometimes, they are watching and listening to those transmissions in a few years later. So now let me zrobić taką małą deskrypcję tego, jak Filip wygląda. He's wearing a very nice black suit, ma piękny czarny garnitur, white shirt, czyli białą koszulę. He's wearing a black tie, czyli nosi też czarną muszkę. Is it the way that you dress at home?
No, not normally.
No, not always, okay.
No.
Tylko tak się ubrał teraz do naszego spotkania. Teraz zobaczmy, jak wygląda jego mieszkanie. Za plecami Filipa w kadrze widać no meble, takie nie najnowsze, umówmy się dyplomatycznie, lata 70., 80., rzeczywiście w stylu zagrazzone, czyli takim Italian style. Ma tam mnóstwo książek, płyt, na tych szafach są też powieszone na wieszakach koszule, błękitna, granatowa, tak wygląda mieszkanie Filipa, a za jego plecami gdzieś tam w oddali majaczy kuchnia, the kitchen in the background, and the door to your right, Philip, i drzwi, które widzimy po lewej stronie, ale po prawej Filipa. Is it the entrance door to your flat?
Yes.
Okay. Drzwi wejściowe do mieszkania i taki kadr ustawił nam Filip, żeby pokazać, jak mieszka i jak spędza czas. So except for performing live from your room, what do you do every day? Are you reading books, watching movies, some, I don't know, do you have Netflix? Masz Netflixa?
Well, I have too many, I don't need Netflix because I have so many films.
Okay.
I don't have Netflix. I don't watch TV. I make my own TV.
Musicie też wiedzieć, you need to know that Philip is wearing glasses, nosi też okulary, ma jeszcze włosy, now he put them on, okay. Ma włosy, nie wyłysiał, może troszeczkę siwiejący. I'm talking only good things about you, so don't worry. So I'm presenting you to the ladies.
Rozumiem bardzo.
Okay, proszę bardzo. Philip, what are your favorite movies, your favorite films? Because you said that you have plenty of them.
Gosh, yeah, I like I like a fair mixture of stuff. I mean, it's historical drama, sci-fi, fantasy. It's a big mixture of all sorts of stuff. But I suppose there are always the classics that in comedy as well. Always the big classics that everybody loves. I love, well, most people love. I love the Lord of the Rings. I love the Star Wars films. I love I love James Bond films. All the sorts of sort of cult TV and cult film aficionado in that sort of way. But I like, but historical dramas are particularly my thing as well, because I'm a big fan of history, and most historical films and TV serials are actually not that accurate. But
are you a fan of English history, of the history of Great Britain, or the history of the world?
I know well the history of the world in general, but obviously I know quite a bit more about British history. But I like to learn about world history as well, because this way you put it all in a bigger context.
And what do you know about Polish history? Are you that deep in Polish history to talk about it?
I'm learning more and more. I mean, what sort of things do you have in mind for Polish history going way back, more recent stuff, more maybe I'm not anywhere near being an expert, but I would reckon I'm starting to know my way around.
Okay. What is your favorite part of the Polish history? The modern history, or I don't know, the medieval times? I doubt it, I guess, actually.
I mean, the
But
medieval
probably the. Mhm.
complex because you don't. I mean, Polish history in general is, of course, very complex because you have several periods when Poland as a country on the map doesn't exist, or it's split between various other places, and it moves its borders. And this is for me very much more confusing than British history because you know where you're talking about at one particular time. Polish history is much more. It expands to a larger area. It contracts. But it's a history of the same people in roughly the same area, but that area is moving. If you see what I mean.
Mhm. Mhm. I
And
know what you mean.
yeah.
Zerknąłem jednym okiem na to, kto tam dołączył do naszej transmisji. Piotrka Gumulca witam. Czy wy skończyliście właśnie swój kabaret na Polsacie, że zaglądasz teraz? Chyba tak. Jak się skończyło, to Piotrek w wolnej chwili włącza. Gosia Pawłowicz do nas dołączyła. Jeżeli chcecie zadać jakieś pytanie albo skomentować, poznajecie tego gościa? To jest Philip Fairweather, the singer from Wrocław Rynek, from the main square, from the market square. Facet, który od 20 lat śpiewa pod ratuszem, wiele lat pod Feniksem, teraz raczej na Świdnickiej. Mówi, że się trochę przeniósł na Świdnicką, bo na rynku jest już taki hałas i taki tłum, że tam się wszyscy zagłuszają. To jest właśnie on, mieszka na Biskupinie, mieszka przy Olszewskiego i zaprosił nas do swojego mieszkania. This is the way he looks at home. No. He doesn't always look like this. But this is the flat that he lives in, to jest jego mieszkanie i mamy dzisiaj wyjątkową Wielkanoc. Philip, how do you spend the Easter? Are you religious? And you are?
Yeah, I mean, it's I mean, it was interesting because I mean today, my father is an Anglican priest, and you know so I grew up very much in the Church of England, with the Church of England all around me, and so it's something that it's something that you know I see in a way that that maybe a lot of people these days, they don't grow up in that kind of atmosphere, and so you know it's a very you know it's a very you wouldn't find that sort of thing happening in Poland, obviously, because in the Roman Catholic Church, priests are not married, so they don't have families, and so but I mean I think in Britain, in the Church of England, you if you are part of the priest's family, you are the church is in your life all the time you're growing up. For some people, and find that they continue in that way when they grow up. Some people want to get away from it as fast as possible. I know quite a lot of clergy children because we were sort of in touch when we were growing up, and you know, it's strange for different ways that coming from a clergy family affects you.
So did you have a chance today to eat eggs? You know, to share an egg, because we have this tradition in Poland to share an egg when you want to tell the people that you wish them, you know, happy Easter and plenty of luck. We are sharing an egg, you know, between each other, and we're eating eggs.
Well, yes, actually, this was very nice because I had a live Zoom conference with my family in England today. We were all sharing our Easter eggs there. So okay, we weren't actually in person, but we were able to see each other on the screen and and do it slightly differently this year. I followed a service, Easter morning service from the local church near where my parents are, and it was just the priest in his front room celebrating with his wife the mass. But after that, because we'd all been watching that, and then we all got together afterwards to share our Easter greetings and have some Easter eggs. So it was a bit different, but
Okay.
it was still a celebration.
Okay. For those who have joined us just this moment, Philip is suffering dyspraxia, and this may cause some problems in his speaking, but a teraz in Polish. Filip cierpi na dyspraksję. To jest taka specyficzna dolegliwość, która może wpływać na sposób jego wypowiadania się. Proszę też to zrozumieć. Dziękuję bardzo. Philip, would you like to sing a hallelujah for us? Because, you know, the title of our meeting is Hallelujah. Do you know this song by Leonard Cohen?
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
I never sang it, but you know, for me, this is a very different. This is a very strange song as an Easter celebration, because it's maybe not quite. It's a bit more. Hallelujah is the title, but I actually think it's rather a cynical song. Because he's looking.
What is it about? O czym to jest? What is about? Hallelujah.
About every, I mean, as I say, I know I've heard the song many times, and it's a very popular song. I've never sung it or really examined it in great detail, but it seems to be one of those things that is about everything and nothing.
So that's why you call it rather cynical.
Yeah, I think rather than say, I think Cohen, rather than saying Hallelujah, isn't it wonderful? He's sort of going, and this goes on and on and on, and so Hallelujah this and Hallelujah that. I think rather than using Hallelujah as a celebratory word, it's more. Maybe I haven't quite understood the song quite, but for me, it goes on and on forever and ever and ever. Okay. So I just think it's more like he's just finding things around the world and going, hey, you know what this and you know what that, hallelujah, hallelujah, as if he's saying, yeah, this and this and this. The world is.
Okay, I understand.
Celebrate, but that's the sort of feeling I get from that song. I don't, yeah, as I say, I haven't really examined it in much detail, but yeah.
Okay, so if you were to choose a song now, what would you choose?
Right. Yeah, you want some.
You know, I'm looking for something nice and easy and very touching, and you know, to make an atmosphere of this very late evening, because it's almost 11 o'clock and there is a man talking to another man, and you know, I'm drinking an orange juice, you're not drinking anything. I'm wondering why. You don't need to drink because you're talking that much.
Yeah. I had a. I mean, I've got some. Yeah, I've got some orange juice here. Actually.
Get yourself some juice, okay? Have a sip. Weź łyczek. Okay.
Yeah.
Better?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. This is live. Everything is live. Would you like to eat something with me? Because, you know, I have a full refrigerator. I have sausage. I have żurek. I have eggs. You know, I have some salad. Would you?
You know, the nice people from downstairs who own my flat brought me up and some nice Easter, some nice stuff from their Easter breakfast. They're
bring it on. Bring it on. I'm going to bring mine.
They were to bring me some of their Easter breakfast from this morning. So.
Wait. Okay. This is a salad. This is żurek. Wait a second.
Okay, wait.
I'm going to show you what żurek is.
Oh, I know what żurek is.
You know what żurek is?
Yes.
You know? You like it?
You mean this soup?
This soup. Okay, this is żurek from this camera. Okay, and it's ready. I need just to know to boil it, and that's it. And here is the salad. Would you like to have some?
Oh, I'm not a big salad fan, I have to say.
You're not a salad fan, okay? I didn't know that.
This plate of meat and bread and things like this that came from a breakfast downstairs. So this is
Okay. What is this food from the downstairs? What is it?
You have and there's some cakes as well, but right now I have some bread and some cheese and some sausage.
Okay. I'm gonna get some. Okay. Chlebek. Okay. To ty jesz swoje, a ja jem swoje. Do you understand?
Say again?
Ty swoje, a ja swoje.
Tak.
To ty zjadasz swoje po prostu, a ja zjadam sałatkę.
Rozumiem.
Wesołych świąt.
Sorry, świąt.
I said happy Eastern. Wesołych świąt.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Happy Easter. Sorry, świąt.
Wesołych świąt, that's right. Thank you, Philip. We don't need to talk, you know. Do you like to talk when you eat?
No.
No. Okay. So make yourself at home. Czuj się jak u siebie.
Thank you.
Mama zrobiła.
Hungry work.
My mother did it. Yeah.
So are you in isolation on your own, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sitting alone, home alone. I feel like Kevin. I feel like Kevin, home alone. But, you know, I need all I got, you know, to eat, to drink, and a computer. I'm missing my daughter.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that, the only person that I'm missing the most, I guess. Maybe not the only one. But it's okay. I came up, you know, with this idea of stay-at-home TV to help myself, you know, because if you don't have a job, if you don't have money, oh, thank you, Ola. Have a good meal. Thank you. If you don't have a job, if you're sitting alone, you need to have, you know, anything to have a contact with the people, to give yourself some job to do at home. You know, you can clean, you can do things here, but it's not enough. You can read books, you can watch television, you can watch movies. But for me, from my profession, I need to do something. So this is how I came up with this idea of stay-at-home TV last week. So it's like the 7th day, I guess. So it's only the beginning, and this is the way of my therapy, my autotherapy. You know what I mean?
What I mean when I said that I'm doing a lot of work on my songs and things like that, that I'm not just sitting here doing, because you can't do that. You if you're not doing your normal job, you have to do something that's
exactly
a bit different.
You have to do something, and if it's interesting for the people, at least a few people, and if there's a chance to meet and talk to me and to some other people and meet new people, and, you know, to spend some time with someone, especially the lonely people.
Yes.
This is I believe it's good, and that's the whole story. It's kind of a fun and a therapy, and, you know, to do something, because I never had a period in my life. I've never had such a period when I had nothing to do at all. So it's the first time. So I have to do something, and this is what I do.
Yeah, and it works. I've been watching some of the other interviews that you've been doing over the last week, and it's a very interesting project, and I was very I was very flattered when you asked me to be a guest because it was I think it's a good format for this time because aren't we communicating with each other?
It sounds beautiful. It's a good format for this time.
It's the thing. It could be a good format for television in general because I think a lot of broadcasting has lost that personal touch.
That's right.
You have the guy in the studio. Maybe the guest comes in. Maybe he plays some music. There's not this. There's something special about two people talking on equal terms in their own space.
Mm-hmm.
Your normal radio.
I believe so.
Your normal radio television studio. It's not neutral ground.
Keep talking.
Place, it's the place for it's the interviewer's workplace and the interviewee's guest place. It's not the place where they normally belong on their everyday world. It's sort of artificial. Whereas this is bringing bringing people in their own element. I mean, you're seeing
So do you think that this could be a kind of a regular channel on television, something like Stay at Home after this, coronavirus situation?
Why not? I mean, this is I've noticed actually watching TV normally. Well, I don't watch much normal TV, but what I do see, actually having to see your favorite presenters at home or in this, it's a very different kind of or politicians or clergy or all these people. They're actually they're not talking in the studio with everything set up. They're actually inviting you into their home in a way that you've never seen in mainstream media before, and I think it's very interesting.
That's right. It's really unique, but it's not like discovering America.
No,
it's not the first step on the moon. It's something natural. It's something very trivial, I guess.
yes,
But maybe this moment that the world is struggling with is the moment to start from the very beginning. Let's talk.
Yeah, it's not moving things forwards. In some ways, it's moving things backwards, but backwards to a more basic thing that I think everybody. It's simplifying things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you finished?
Yeah. I
Okay.
finished the sandwich. I have plenty more to eat.
Ready to sing?
I can sing again, yes, if you want.
Okay, so again, the question from the last 15 minutes is, what would you like to sing, Phil?
Well, I mean, what would you like me to sing?
I'd love to. One of my favorite songs is My Way by Frank Sinatra. Actually, it was written by Paul Anka. He was the author of the lyrics.
Yeah, the lyrics we know. But
But actually, the original was the song from France, right? The French song.
Comme d'habitude.
That's right.
But Paul Anka's lyrics, although they've become Paul Anka's English lyrics, although they've become standard, they're in any way connected with Comme d'habitude's lyrics, which are very, very, very different from My Way. And there was the first English version was not actually also very different lyrics. The first English version was actually rejected by the publisher, but the writer of those lyrics was very famous. Later,
right.
very famous. At the time, he was just a jobbing.
You mean Paul Anka, right?
No. Before.
No.
Paul,
Okay, before Paul Anka. Okay.
first person to try to set Comme d'habitude to English words
Okay.
was a struggling lyric writer in London by the name of David Jones.
Oh, I didn't know that.
but and his lyrics were rejected by his lyrics were rejected by the publisher of Comme d'habitude, and of course later Paul Anka's were accepted. But the writer of this original, David Jones, later became very famous under another name.
Where did you know that from? You sound like a radio DJ.
Well, mate, I find these things out, and I find it interesting to look through. As I say, I'm a bit of a historian, but I'm a bit of a sort of cultural historian as well.
But the history of your family has something in common with radio DJing, right?
Yes, that's
Can
true.
you tell us this story, because this may be the breaking news for some of our watchers?
Well, yes. My great uncle was the one of the founders of Radio Luxembourg. He was the first voice ever to appear on it, and the last voice when it actually closed down many years later.
And his name was?
Stephen Williams.
Stephen Williams. Przetłumaczę, let me translate into Polish. Stephen Williams był pierwszym głosem i ostatnim głosem, czyli otwierającym i zamykającym legendarne Radio Luksemburg. I to był taki daleki wujek Filipa. Okay, let's go back to English.
So basically, yes, I was a big radio pioneer in my family. So I was.
And and your family was listening to Radio Luxembourg, I suppose.
Well, it was his time on Radio Luxembourg was quite a while before I was born, so so it wasn't sort of what we were listening to at the time when I was growing up. But I'm sure it was very much in people's minds while he was there.
Okay, so let's go back to our professional roles. You're a singer, I'm an announcer, and this next song is going to be My Way, written by Paul Anka, performed by Frank Sinatra and many others. But tonight, straight and live from the flat in Wrocław, Philip Fairweather. Are you going to sing this original version?
Well, do you want to hear the original English words that were written by this hack, David Jones, who later became very well known as David Bowie?
David Jones is David Bowie.
Yes.
Okay.
In a roundabout sort of way, but this was one of the first lyrics that he worked on before.
Really?
David Bowie.
Oh my God, what a story. David Bowie był pierwszym autorem słów do My Way, żeby stały się znane na świecie, ale jeszcze David Bowie nie był wtedy znany, był młodym facetem i nie zrobił jeszcze kariery i jakoś to nie przeszło, żeby te jego słowa były do tego francuskiego My Way. Ale nam historię. What a story you told us, Philip.
You want to hear the original David Bowie?
Yeah, let's hear the lyrics by David Bowie. Posłuchajmy My Way ze słowami Davida Bowie, który próbował jakoś zwrócić na siebie uwagę jako młody człowiek i napisał swoje słowa.
But I mean, the David Bowie version is not called My Way. It's called Even a Fool Learns to Love.
Even a fool learns to love. Okay.
So here we go.
Ale numer. Posłuchajcie. Tego na pewno nie słyszeliście w życiu. Się dzieje, kiedy ktoś śpiewa.
Laughing time, I took my heart to every party. They point my way. How are you today? Will you make us laugh? Chase our blues away. That funny man won't let them down. No, he'll dance and prance and be their clown. That time, the laughing time, when even a fool learns to love. The clown, he turned around and saw her smile. Oh, how she loved me. She'd clap her hands and beg me stay, to make her laugh, to make her life gay. Who wants the love of all the world, when here was love in the eyes of just one girl? That day, that precious day, when even a fool learns to love. But oh, how I dream, a marvelous dream, where all of the heavens, oh, so it seemed, with thunderous applause, looked down from above on a clown and an angel, so much in love. I'll stay with my dream. It takes such a dream, and even a fool learns to love. That day, that hateful day, the joke turned stale. The game was over. Those spiteful words, go away. Who wants to play? It's getting late now. My world, my funny world, had lost its mask and shown a broken heart. A tie, a sour tie, when even a fool learns to love. But oh, how I dreamed, marvelous dream, where all of the heavens, oh, so it seemed, with thunderous applause, looked down from above on a cloud and his angel, so much in love. I'll stay with my dream. It takes such a dream, and even a fool learns to love. Yes, even a fool learns to
Ladies and gentlemen, panie i panowie, Philip Fairweather zaśpiewał wersję słów do My Way, którą tworzył David Bowie, legendarny David Bowie. I to po raz pierwszy prawdopodobnie na taką skalę zostało wykonane tutaj u nas we Wrocławiu. I taka piękna historia za tym się kryje. Philip, again, what a story, you know, and what a performance.
I try to find out all these little interesting things before I do my show, so I've got something to talk about.
Can I tell you something in secret?
Yeah, but maybe you shouldn't tell with all these people watching.
Yeah, it's about the people watching. The secret is that this performance was just have been watched by the mayor of the city of Wrocław, Jacek Sutryk, jak spojrzałem, na chwilę zajrzał na naszą transmisję. Can you believe it?
Well, we're all sitting at home with something, wanting some entertainment. So I'm sure even the famous and influential are watching this program. So it's so.
You know that Do you
have
know that the
a
mayor is reading the fairy tales to kids, to children, every day at 1 o'clock, 1
this is
p.m.?
good. This is really good
It's
for
really good.
keeping morale going, because it must be so difficult with to go through all this with with not just on your own, but with children, and to explain to them how this is going on is very difficult. And it's good that that there are people taking time to make things good for children during this difficult period, because a lot of them really won't be understanding what's going on. And yes, so
Again, you have an applause from Alexandra Sendecka from Ola.
thank you, Alexandra.
Alexandra is a person who's sitting on a wheelchair, and I met Alexandra during the preparations to our New Year's Eve party on Wrocław Rynek Square, and she was a part of our show. She was a dancer on a wheelchair.
That's
So
great.
if you are Phil, you are suffering dyspraxia, and Ola is suffering for some diseases and some illness. And what a great moment for me. It was worth it to listen to and watch you to singing the guy with dyspraxia, a performer in Wrocław Rynek, and Ola, very late night at 11:06. Ola, to mówię o tobie, wierzę, że trochę ten angielski jednak znamy again, Ola has just said that this was a beautiful performance.
Dziękuję bardzo, Ola.
Philip, what do you think about this Brexit? Because it's time to exit our show, and one of the last questions is Brexit. Are you against or?
Well, I've nobody, as far as I can see, has presented any logical argument why this is in any way a good idea.
Boris Johnson seems to be a very logical man. He changed his mind. First, he said, "Let's do, this. Let's invite this virus to our country, and everyone should suffer this virus, this disease, COVID-19, because how do you call it in English? This, overall, everybody should be getting sick. There is a name for it.
Herd immunity.
Herd immunity. Okay, you call it a herd immunity. And he changed his mind, because he was told by some scientists that it's a wrong way. So they changed their minds.
I have to say, I'm not, for me, I have Boris Johnson. I can, I don't want to get into. I don't want to get into a really heated discussion here, but he's a very complex man with with some really great qualities and some really some really not quite so great qualities. And this is, it's very difficult to predict where he's going, where he's going and what he's going to do next. And this is one of the reasons why, I think if he'd gone into this situation, if in the early 90s he was appearing on TV game shows and panels and things like this a lot, and he was brilliant at this. He was really brilliant, really witty, interesting guy, and I sometimes wish he was at a transition point in his career. He was moving from being a journalist into being either a TV presenter or a politician. And I wish he'd gone to be a TV presenter, because he would be much more loved there. That was far more where, as a politician, I think he's much more unpredictable. I have all the, well, last week when he was seriously ill, I mean, I was rooting for him because, you know, I don't. He's the prime minister. You don't want somebody to get seriously ill or die in such a situation, and the choices of the people that might replace him right at the moment, if he was out of action, none of them are quite. They are all, in my opinion, worse choices than him. So it's a very difficult thing. I don't like a lot of what he's done, but you have to support him right now at the moment because he's the only choice you've got. with no further election on the horizon either. You know, we have to, but I have my reservations, and it's not. I think the Brexit situation is a big mistake that and you know I think it's going to be a very difficult situation seeing what happens next with all this. But yeah.
What do you think? May, June, or July, and the fly in the flat? Okay. When should it stop? I mean, this virus situation. May, June, July,
Who
August.
knows?
Who knows? What
Who
an
knows? I
optimistic
think
end. Who knows?
you know, got to keep positive and keep optimistic and keep sensible, keep healthy. I mean, as long as we follow sensible rules, and try to stay as healthy as we can, I think we've just got to take each day as it comes.
Mhm. I to mówi, te słowa mówi człowiek, który nawet kolegował się ze słynnym Boratem, bo chodzili do jednej uczelni. The man who knows Sacha Baron Cohen, a famous actor known as Borat, Philip Fairweather, because you didn't tell us that. Nie
Well,
mówiłeś.
yeah, that's another sort of little thing here and there that when I many years ago I worked at Cambridge University briefly, and I was involved with. I was living in Cambridge at the time, and I for about 7 years, and I was involved with a lot of the university drama. I wasn't actually at the university as a student, but I was sort of in the university community, and I got to meet a lot of people in student drama productions and things like that that are now quite famous, and people like Sacha Baron Cohen, David Mitchell, and they you see Alexander Armstrong. You see them now as regular faces in film or TV, but they at the time they were students making their way with in the footlights, and it was interesting to see how their careers progressed.
Mhm. How about your career? What will you, not what would you, but what will you do when this whole coronavirus situation will stop and this stay-at-home situation will stop? What will be your first thing that you would love to do?
Well, I'd like to just go straight out into the Riddick or wherever I happen to be at the time and make a show. I imagine quite a lot of other people doing who do in the same profession will want to do the same thing. But so there'll be probably be a bit of a mad scrabble to see who gets the best spot first. But I certainly want to perform a decent show with all the new stuff I've been working on and all the and everything else to firmly say we're back outside and we're performing again.
It can be a great party, it can be a great night, great day when the government will say let's go outside, and the first evening, the first night, people in the streets, and just like you, the street performers singing, dancing, drinking and talking. It can be kind of a great festival, of freedom, the great festival of freedom, the first day and the first night outside home.
Everybody catches coronavirus.
And yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Right. That's
Philip.
what we have to be careful of. We can't rush this. We've got to go out when it's safe to go out, and that's the that's the most important thing, I think. That yeah.
I never imagined that there will be a day, especially like today and tonight, the Eastern, that I'm going to spend that long time with you sitting by my table and you are sitting but by your table, and I will be drinking and eating and talking, and you will be drinking, eating, and singing as well. And you know this is life. And miracles happen because maybe some miracle situations can appear between the people right now because of this
Yeah.
stay at home period. So I would like to thank you for being the part of my life and being the part of my Eastern and being the part of my stay at home. So I will never forget it, and I would love to thank you very, very much. And I believe that I'm speaking and representing now the thoughts of the people who spent some time with us tonight. Maybe not the whole over an hour, but at least a few minutes. Those of you who have joined us had a pleasure to meet a very interesting man, very intelligent man, who is interested in history and music and the politics and everything. And I believe that people don't know you from this side. They just know you from the street, and they don't know you in that private way. And thank you, Philip. That was a pleasure to me.
Well, thank you. It's been my pleasure to talk with you once again, because we're old friends from a long time back, and it brings back some memories of of a show we used to do together as well.
10 years ago, maybe over 10 years ago, we spent every single morning doing a morning radio show on the internet, on the
Yep.
radio of Wrocław. But this is an old story. It's not the moment to talk about it, I believe.
I think so. But this is the thing. The best thing to do for now is to keep positive, that we won't be out of this, that we'll be over this problem soon. You know what? The Bus Festival, we still hope that this will go ahead this year. We're keeping the door open as much as we can. And I was in conference with some of the other organisers a few days ago. They're all hoping that it's actually going to go ahead. So this is we're talking about August here. So hopefully we keep the dream alive.
It's good to do it to keep the memory of Roman Popłonek, who was the inventor here in Wrocław of this Basker Bus situation, this Basker Bus story of our city. So let's do it for Roman Popłonek, the late Roman Popłonek, because he passed away 2 years ago. Am I right?
Well, it will be 5 years.
Oh my God.
Well, 4 years ago, last Christmas. So this year will be the 5th anniversary. This Christmas.
Philip, have a great night. Let's go to bed.
Yes.
And that's all for now.
Well, thank you, Paweł. See you again soon.
Thank you. Eastern, wesołych świąt, Philip.
Wesołych świąt. Happy Easter.
Dziękuję wam bardzo. A kolejni ludzie, którzy też siedzą w domach i będą naszymi gośćmi podczas kolejnych spotkań, pojawią się tutaj może już za kilkanaście godzin. Kto wie, kto w poniedziałek spędzi z nami, ze mną i z wami czas, siedząc w domu, rozmawiając o życiu, o świecie, pokazując, co robią, jak próbują zabić ten czas i przeżyć sami z sobą albo tylko z najbliższymi. Dziękuję wam bardzo serdecznie, wszystkich pozdrawiam z kuchni, gdziekolwiek nas oglądaliście. Jak wyłączymy, to będziemy kontynuować jedzenie i spożywanie. Wszystkiego dobrego, wesołych świąt, do zobaczenia.